This is going to be a presentation about contextualising and conceptualising interactive media in regards to digital platforms, and it's by Eden and Beth.
An introduction to interactive media. Interactive media prompts the watcher, audience to interact with the piece to further the story. Meaning, throughout the piece, the audience is required to choose options in order to progress. What options you choose affects your next choice, essentially creating your own experience each time you interact with it. An article on Business to Community says the most common functionalities include hotspots, clickable areas or buttons within a video, branching, choose your own adventure style experience where the content is customized on what a viewer preferences is or decisions, a 360 video, an immersive experience where viewers get to look up, down, left and right in a video.
Bandersnatch is a Black Mirror spin-off series where we follow along a character who is very inspired by a book to design his own video game and wants to get it published. In this piece of media, we are given choices throughout this film in order to change and choose what our character does. We're very much immersed in the film. You can be passive with it and it will continuously choose the left option and give you this ending. That's not necessarily the stock ending, it's just one ending out of a few hundreds. As you can see, there is a tree there that can tell you all the different endings of all the choices if you pick them. It's created by Charlie Brooker and Animal Jones when they were asked by Netflix if they'd like to do one. In terms of if it's a game or if it's cinema, Charlie touches on it and you say it's not really a game. Annabelle's saying that we're presenting it as a film, an interactive film. It's not a game per se, as you are still experiencing it, and you don't have to think about what options you take, or you just get to sit there, watch a film, and be fully immersed in it. And it's not a new concept. It's been around for about 40 years, and Netflix, with its 222 million subscribers, introducing this media again onto a more of a mainstream platform might mean it starts to get picked up and experimented with more and more, as Charlie Brooker does go on to make another interactive media. However, it doesn't go as well. Like I said, interactive media has been around for about 40 odd years. The first piece of interactive media that's been remembered is an animation called Dragon's Lair. It was created in 1983 by a company called Cinematronics, and it was on Laserdisc. At the time, not many people had the technology to experience this video. And what you did is you played as this knight, or you were from the perspective of this knight, going to go save a damsel from a castle. And throughout this film, you would point and click with your TV remote, and when it flashed, you click the button and he'd hit whatever was there, or as you can see in the clip that played, he'll go through the doors or he'll attack monsters. This was the first piece of interactive media, and it really does mean that whilst it's been around for a long time, not many people knew about it until Bandersnatch came out and everyone thought this is a great new invention. It hasn't. It's been around for a long time. However, it's been reinvented and put on a platform where more people can access it. And Dragon's Lair, unfortunately, as it did not do too well, it flopped, and so it was made into a video game later on, and that's how it kicked off. However, like I say here, adding interactive elements could keep an audience more engaged in a film. In a world of 10-second clips on TikTok and Instagram Reels, this could recapture audiences' attentions onto watching films and being involved. Earlier, I mentioned how Bandersnatch was an amazing form of interactive media. This, on the other hand, I believe to be a very not a very good form of interactive media, as it's no longer, in my opinion, cinema. It's more of a video game. Again, it really is an opinion-based option, but I think Cat Burglar is a poor example of interactive media, and I thought I'd include it because I want to show that whilst this was released in 2022 and Bandersnatch was released years prior, just because we have it doesn't mean it's always going to be a hit on the nail. This was also written by the same guy who wrote Bandersnatch, Charlie Brooker, and this is more of a video game as you get lives throughout it, and it's not just... It doesn't work because you get frustrated if you get the answers wrong and it restarts everything, and you get... It's a video game, which is fine, but you shouldn't present a video game as a piece of cinema. It's more of just a glorified cutscene or things like that. Not necessarily a bad thing, however, I think when we talk about interactive media in this presentation, we're talking about media that can be just passively viewed as well, that you don't have to be fully involved in it. You can just watch it and feel like you can, whatever option you take is not going to be the wrong option. It's just an option. In this Cat Burglar, it very much is, you've got a right answer and a wrong answer. And I think that's where this piece of media really does fail.
Written and directed by Mark Fishbach, also known as Markiplier, A Heist with Markiplier is one of YouTube's original first fully interactive, multi-part short films with 31 endings. Throughout the piece, the audience takes the place of Markiplier's companion, as his point of view, as he goes through the plan of performing a heist in a museum. YouTube is a widely known platform. The world's largest video sharing platform is free and accessible, making it widely popular. If and when accomplished, it will give the player a sensation of being inside a film, but with the revolutionary difference that the actions on screen are controlled by the player. It will become cinema of interactive non-linear storytelling, an experience, simply put, an interactive cinema medium. Using the point of view of his accomplice in the story, Fishbach finds a way to insert the viewer into the story. Because there are so many endings, it doesn't really have a linear timeline. However, every route will tell a new story. Nowadays, with the development of technology and production, and the making of these films, creators are coming up with new concepts, story ideas, and new ways to use interactive film/cinema. Another example of interactive media, however, this example is a piece of advertisement for the You vs. Wild show on Netflix. The show itself is an interactive piece of media. In this interactive series, you help Bear Grylls decide how he's going to navigate his way through the wilderness. The videos are short in length, so they're quite easy to follow. While this is interactive media, I don't personally consider it interactive cinema. It's more suited for interactive advertisement. It is an interesting use of interactive media, however the show is meant for children and having a young child navigate something like this may prove difficult or confusing for them. However, the show itself is probably very educational.
Ta-da! No. Oh, here you go. Here, you can take some of this. There you go. Now you can kiss me.
Another form of interactive media we're going to be talking about is ARGs. ARGs are alternate reality games. These are a form of digital media where audiences have to participate, or they have the option to participate in this alternate reality. This could be through phoning up real-life numbers from videos they've watched, visiting places, going on websites, social media, really experiencing what that reality would be like. A very corporate way of thinking about it is both Batman films, The Batman and Dark Knight, include a bit of an ARG at the end of their films. So in The Batman, there's a website that pops up that if you solve riddles, you get access to like the Riddler's files. For The Dark Knight, there was this whole thing where there was a Joker dollar bill, and if you went through websites, you got access to behind the scenes footage. ARGs have become more accessible through social media websites such as YouTube. It's very popular on there. However, they're not as widely known as other pieces of media that are on platforms such as Netflix. However, it's a very active piece of cinema where you watch it and willingly or unwillingly you are now part of this game.
Fast cars, beautiful friends. They've made me think, am I happy? When you're in the middle.
An example of an ARG would be one on YouTube it's called I Am Sophie, and it was created by Tom Ramson. And it is a video basically about an online YouTube series. And the first video was posted, and a big channel called Leon Lush with 1.93 million subscribers reacted to it. So he commentated over the top of it, believing that this was real. This caused a lot of backlash because then people did not like this girl, even though she was completely made up and fake and not a real person. People used to go over there and not like her because she was rich, she was spoiled, all of this stuff. And this created this ARG. Unwillingly, people would go over and participate in it. And what would happen is this ARG posted more YouTube videos, and it turned into a horror thriller where it got more gory, it showed a decline, and basically I think here one of the research papers I read from Davies said that our ARGs empower players to become part of the construction of the game's narrative. They became part of the narrative. Leon Lush literally got called out in one of the videos saying about how, oh yeah, he reacted to me. He had no idea this was an ARG, which really shows that cinema, and this type of cinema that was a series, got people involved and inside the film whilst it was being created still, which shows that there are so many possibilities that we can make with cinema, and how that digital and social media platforms really have changed the way we view cinema.
This House Has People in It is a found footage style alternative reality game released on the channel Adult Swim at 4 AM on the morning of March 4th, 2014. Directed by Adam Resnick, the short film shows a family, named the Subjects, seen through security cameras, AV surveillance solutions, celebrating their son's birthday while their daughter, Subject 3, succumbs to Lynx disease from eating clay, a wildly contagious virus in this universe. Throughout the video, there are flashes and hints to other websites, passwords, and videos that tell the viewers more of the story. This ARG is now mostly based off YouTube and other websites created for the purpose of the ARG. As the video is somewhat random in its nature, this prompted its viewers to find out more. ARGs for TV shows or consumer products serve different purposes and engage with narrative storytelling in different ways, which makes them difficult to compare effectively. Some of This House Has People in It is based off of previous work by the director and information from TV shows from previous Adult Swim broadcasts, for example, Boomy the Cat, and some other Easter eggs, characters throughout the piece. Summary. They are complex, collaborative, and deeply involving experiences, genuinely unique forms of storytelling and notoriously difficult to define. ARGs are often mistaken for console games that tie in with films. ARGs are immersive, interactive narratives told across multiple platforms. Some ARGs are very difficult to define as all of them can take many different shapes and forms and spread across many different types of platforms.
Thank you very much for listening.